are people who are able to listen right now, and there are some people who are there, but they have not responded. So today, the promise is that I am sitting on a time bomb right now, and I have roughly 40 minutes with you. And in those 40 minutes, by the end of 40 minutes, which is around 3:47 from now, I should have shared with you a framework with the help of which you can use one platform called LinkedIn and would understand the framework with the help of which you will be able to generate leads. So, guys, if you are serious about generating more leads, if your clients or prospects are on LinkedIn and you want to learn a step-by-step framework with the help of which you can generate sales growth for your business using LinkedIn today, and that too, at least the framework you will get to know in 40 minutes, then my request is do two things. I'll take a 60-second break now, pick up a pen and paper, and whatever I'm going to explain, please make notes and think about it, that whether this blueprint sounds and resonates with you or not. In case if you have any questions, while I may have a blueprint which is very clear in my mind, but that blueprint is not very clear for you, then please, my request would be, do not hesitate to ask any question. And since it is a live session, and you may not have got the rights to talk to me right now, just drop a message in the chat box that you want to ask a question by writing Q in the chat box. You write Q in the chat box, or if you can elaborate in the Q&A button, you can write down your question. So those who want to ask any question while I'm explaining, please write Q in the chat box. And what I will do is I will allow you to talk. We will get into a conversation and I will listen to you. And in case if I'm able to answer that question then and there, I will answer and take the conversation forward. Okay. Does that sound good? Yes, no? Guys, if it sounds good, can we proceed? So if you have picked up a pen and paper, take a minute, go to a next room, pick up a pen and paper. And if you already have, then say, yes, I have in the chat box, and then we'll start. And what I'm going to do is to pass on all the pieces that I have done to generate leads on LinkedIn. I will share that with you. So take your time. I'll put a timer. I'll wait for 60 seconds and then we will start. And step by step together, we are going to build one of the finest blueprints that we can prepare for generating leads on LinkedIn. And hopefully, it will give you a fair idea with the help of which you can start your own journey, customize it as per your requirement, and then begin. So I'm going to start in exactly 30 seconds from now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a software to give my presentation to you, and you may want to use or download that software for yourself also. And with the help of that, I will share with you the entire session step by step, so that you are able to make notes and slowly and gradually pick up all the steps that I'm going to share. And since it is a 5-step framework, I'm going to share one step at a time, take a pause, ask you questions so that you are able to pick up and apply it immediately after the session. So let's go to the step number 1. The software that I'm using right now, I'm writing the name of the software in the chat box. All of you who are aspiring learners, aspiring teachers, aspiring coaches, aspiring business owners, aspiring sales leaders, aspiring people who are presenting, you are able to use this software. I'm using a software called eDrawMind. The free version is also available. You can use limited features in that also, and would be able to use it. In case if you don't have any software, that does not stop you to learn. This is a software that I use for preparing mind maps. Whichever mind map software that you would like to use, please use, but understand the entire piece step by step. So let's look at 5 steps. First, why am I using chat box and the screen? So that I'm going slow, so that you are able to use and make notes properly. Step number 1 that I'm going to use, I'm writing that in the chat box. Step number 1 is that we will learn how to find. I'm writing a number. Step number 1, how to find out your target customers. And within brackets, I'm writing prospects. If you are able to see that in the chat box, give me a thumbs up in the chat box if you are able to note down the first step. Fantastic, Varsha. Very good. So we will learn how to find out our target prospects. And to find out our target prospects, we have various ways to do that. I'll use a ID for searching. Let me go to LinkedIn Live and show you a link. If you see this area on LinkedIn, this area, what do you see? Write down in the chat box. What do you see? Wherever I clicked, what do you see? What do you see there? Do you see a search button? Fantastic. In this search button, we are able to find out our target prospects easily. And I'm going to share some tips with you so that you are able to search it faster, better, and quicker. So let's look at, let's say I go there and I want to search something. Let me do a stop share. First, write down something for you. Share a mind map. There are a few things that I'm going to share with you. There are 3 ways that we can search our prospects. Number 1 is a normal search, which I have shown in the search bar. Second is I can use a LinkedIn Sales Navigator if you have taken connection. How many of you have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator connection? Premium one? If you have, say yes. If you don't have, say no in the chat box. Then I'll not cover that aspect. If you don't have, I will not talk about it today. No. Okay. So most of you do not have. Let me then use examples which are in the free connection, the free search bar. So all of us can learn. Look at these examples. I am going to today talk about 5 examples. How do you use quotes? How do you use parenthesis? How do you use and? How do you use or? And how do you use not? How many of you know how to use double quotes in the LinkedIn search bar? And what is the advantage of it? If any one of you know what is the plus point of using quotes in the search bar, please say I in the chat box. And if you do not know, say no in the chat box. Okay, so most of you have written that you do not know what is the usage or advantage or benefit of using double quotes in the search bar. So let me give an example or a demo of that so that you are able to understand. Let me first write down in the chat box so that you are able to understand properly. Let me write down an example of, let's say, product manager. Have you guys noted in the chat box that I have written double quotes product manager? Can you copy that and paste it somewhere? Or you can make notes in the notebook so that you do not miss out anything what I have taught in 40 minutes. Are you able to make notes? Yes, no? Fantastic. Now let me use that on my LinkedIn bar. Let's say if I write product manager and I press enter, and I click on people, then how many results we have got? Write down the correct answer in the chat box. How many product managers we have found? No, you have written 3, Lavanya, that you can see. But how many results we have got? Absolutely correct. This is the way I am able to check whether you are seeing the same screen that I am seeing and you are understanding also. Absolutely correct. 4530 000. Correct. Correct, Adarsh Pandey. Absolutely, your answer is correct. I'm not able to pronunciate properly. Your name is K. Thasni. If I'm pronunciating correctly, please give me a feedback. Am I taking your name properly? Yes, fantastic. Now let's look at if I use double quotes here. If I use double quotes here and put this in double quotes and then click enter, then the result has increased or reduced? Has the results increased or reduced? And why has it reduced? Any guesses? Anyone would like to guess? Say I in the chat box. Anyone who would like to guess why it has reduced, please say I in the chat box. So Varsha says I. Let me talk to Varsha. Hey Varsha, how are you? You are allowed to talk. You can unmute Varsha and we can talk. Hi, Varsha.
Hello. Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Absolutely loud and clear. Everyone can hear you.
Yes, yes, yes. Because when we have put inverted comma, so they have searched of the full name is a full search is a product manager simultaneously.
And without double quotes, what it do? What
They
will it
will
do?
search the word product as well as manager also.
Absolutely bang on, Varsha. Absolutely correct answer. So, as Varsha has rightly said, that if you write the title of the prospect that you are searching, and it may be a product manager, it may be a utility manager, it may be a sales executive, it may be a CEO, it may be a managing director, it may be a founder, it may be a co-founder, it may be a partner, it may be anyone whom you are searching for, whosoever is your target audience, and if they write that title name in the link on LinkedIn, if you give that name in the double quotes, it will search for both the words. Otherwise, wherever product is coming and or manager is coming, it is searching both. तो अगर प्रोडक्ट आ रहा है तब भी सर्च कर रहा है, अगर मैनेजर आ रहा है तब भी सर्च कर रहा है, अगर प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर इकट्ठे सर्च करना था तो हमने उसको क्या किया, सर्च करने के लिए क्या कर दिया, डबल कोट लगा दिया. इज दिस अंडरस्टूड? कैन वी पास थ्रू कि हमने अगले पिछले 10 मिनट में एक स्टेप कर लिया, अब हम आगे चले? ऑल ऑफ यू, have you guys understood the step number 1 in searching? Fantastic. So let's go to number 2. अब मैं इसी तरीके से प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर भी सर्च कर सकता हूं. अगर मेरे को प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर नहीं सर्च करना है और मान लीजिए मेरे को मार्केटिंग मैनेजर सर्च करना है, तो मैं मार्केटिंग मैनेजर भी सर्च कर सकता हूं. और अगर अभी आ रहा है रिजल्ट 33900000 और अगर डबल कोट्स में मैं नहीं सर्च करूंगा तो मेरा सर्च रिफाइंड नहीं होगा, मेरा सर्च गलत डायरेक्शन में चला जाएगा और वो बढ़कर 4 टाइम्स बढ़ गया. तो जहां मार्केटिंग स्ट्रेटजिस्ट मैनेजर लिखा हुआ है उसको भी सर्च कर रहा है, जहां मार्केटिंग मैनेजर लिखा हुआ है उसको भी सर्च कर रहा है, जहां पर डिजिटल मार्केटिंग मैनेजर लिखा हुआ है उसको भी सर्च कर रहा है, जहां पर मार्केटिंग मैनेजर या सीनियर मार्केटिंग मैनेजर लिखा हुआ है उसको भी सर्च कर रहा है. Are we together? Yes or no? Tasni, I'll try my level best that I talk to people and everyone can understand. I am confused because I'm getting messages from people to speak in Hindi. So I'm here and there, wherever required, translating. But yes, most of the time you will see me speaking in English. But if there is a request that has come from another fellow participant who is asking me to request in Hindi, then I am answering that in Hindi as well. Okay. So these are the 2 languages, Tasni, that I know. So yeah. Let's look at the second part. After double quotes, let's look at parenthesis. So let me copy it from here and write it down for you in the chat box. Let's say if I write this in the chat box, what will it do? If I write this in the search box, what will it do? If I write this in the chat box, what will it do? Let's see what will it do. If I am searching for software and engineer or architect, then it will search for 2 kinds of titles. Whosoever is a software engineer and software architect both. And if I put this in double quotes and a little refined search, then it will search for software engineer or software architect. Are you seeing the title of these people? So if your target prospect, sales is about 2 things, my dear friends. Sales is about knowing who your target customers are and finding various ways of breaking through them. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? if we know who is our target customer, and if we have the right strategy to break through them. And LinkedIn is not a solution to every problem or that's not the only way to break through your clients. Today, I may be talking about only LinkedIn because that's the topic, that's the objective that I'm covering. But nowhere I'm saying that this is the only way. Your client might not be on LinkedIn at all. Okay. You may be searching for a consumer who's not on LinkedIn. Then we will have to find out various ways. It could be you end up meeting them in a club. You may be meeting them in a social media platform. You may be meeting them in an exhibition. You may be meeting them while traveling. You may be inviting them to your place. You may be going to their place. You may be cold calling them. You may be making telephone calls to them. Whatever method that is appropriate for that client and your client acquisition strategy should be applied. Are we together? कभी कभी हम डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के ट्रेनर्स को कोचेस को सुनते हैं तो ऐसा फील होने लगता है that that's the remedy to every problem in life. When I attend workshops which are done in 30 minutes and people say after attending the program your business will grow to 10x, I generally laugh. Why? Because what they are selling is a word called easy. And easy has been the best marketing hook of all times. And unfortunately, people are still falling for it. Running a business is not easy, my dear friends. Finding out the correct path can make it sound romantic for you, can make it easy for you. There's a request, Tasni, from Mohammad Nasruddin to speak in Hindi now. And you are saying to speak in English now. Here is what the confusion is. So Nasruddin, मैं ये कह रहा था कि कई बार लोग ऐसा प्रोग्राम करते हैं, ऐसा सेशन करते हैं कि उसमें कहते हैं 30 मिनट्स में आपका बिजनेस 10x हो जाएगा. और वो आपको ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है. It can raise your awareness, it can clarify your doubts, it can give you the right direction, it can actually result in getting to know the path with the help of which you will be able to perform action. But fact of the matter is, it will only raise awareness. And knowledge without action is philosophy. Yeah. So I have shared with you 2-3 things right now. Usage of double quotes and usage of parentheses, brackets. Let me look at the third one quickly. Let me give another example. Let's say if I'm going back to LinkedIn, and if I'm using this method. And what have I written? Let me write the same thing in the chat box also so that you're able to copy and understand. Some people maybe not be able to. If I'm searching for titles, specific titles like instructional designer or instructional design. I can also put a double quotes here. Yeah. Because if you look at Sneha Shanti's profile, she has written instructional design. But if you look at Anbu Mati's profile or Mati's profile, I'm guessing I'm taking their names properly. It is instructional designer written. So if your target prospects use multiple titles, then you can make use, and or gives you an option. If you write or in between, it's called Boolean search. And if you write or in between, it gives you alternate choices. जैसे हम इंग्लिश में और का इस्तेमाल करते हैं वैसे ही यूज कर रहा हूं मैं. Let me give one more example. And there are 2 places where I'm dropping my examples so that you are able to copy, use easily. One is in the chat box. And then I'm also showing the same demo while operating on LinkedIn Live so that you're able to use it. Same example, and I'm pasting it here. A further refined search. One more example that I want to share. Now, from codes to brackets, I want to now use an example of AND. What is the usage of AND while searching for prospects on LinkedIn? Let me go there and write this: software and engineer. Wherever software engineer is written together, it will search. Wherever software engineer is written, it will search. Software engineer, senior software engineer, software engineer, software engineer, software engineer. So if you are a HR person searching for a target profile, if you are a person who is applying for a job and searching for a targeted company, if you are a salesperson searching for your target prospects, all these methods of searching that I am sharing will be of use to you. अगर आप एक HR के व्यक्ति हैं और लोगों को हंट कर रहे हैं, अगर आप एक सेल्स पर्सन है और अपने टारगेट प्रॉस्पेक्ट्स को हंट कर रहे हैं, you will be able to use these methods. One more method that I'm going to share is if you don't want to use AND, you can use this method also. Let's look at this method also. Instead of writing software and engineer, I can also write software plus engineer here. It will do. Look at this. And I can also apply this and search for people here. It will only search for wherever software engineer has come together. Software engineer, software engineer, software engineer, software engineer, all of that. So far, I have covered the following. I have given you an example of quotes. I have given you an example of parenthesis. I've given you an example of AND. I've given you an example of OR. Let me give also an example of, let's say this example. Let me copy it from here and give you an example of NOT also. How do you use NOT while searching on LinkedIn? I'm writing CEO, not owner, not founder, not consultant. Only CEOs. So it is only searching for CEOs. Those who are CEOs, not owner, not founder, not consultant. Guys, I want to take a quick check. Are you able to understand the examples that I'm sharing? Yes or no? Let me drop those examples in the chat box also. Let me ask a plain, simple feedback. Is it going to help you search for your target prospects properly? क्या ये आपको हेल्प करेगा? सॉरी नसरुद्दीन, क्या ये आपको हेल्प करेगा अपने टारगेट प्रॉस्पेक्ट्स को सर्च करने में? If you are finding value in what I have covered so far, then I am going to take 10 minutes more and share the next step of this framework also. If you are finding it valuable, say V in the chat box. Then I'm going to share one more step of the LinkedIn blueprint. And those who are not finding it valuable, may want to spend your time in something that is valuable for you. I'm going to share the next step now. Now, after you search, what do? After you search, and let's say you have searched for people, what do? You have to establish your contact. Yes or no? अगर हमको ये सर्च करना आ गया कि हमारा टारगेट प्रोस्पेक्ट कौन है, तो उसके बाद नेचुरली नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? You have to establish or connect with them. Yes or no? So if we have to establish our connect, please copy some tips that I'm going to share. The first tip that I'm going to share, I'm writing that in the chat box. Please make notes of it. Make note of it. You may want to copy it in some other file so that you are able to use it later for your own notes. Give people, sorry for my typo error, a reason that they should connect with you. That's tip number 1 for you. You can start by viewing the person's profile first. And then you can write down a message. So when I'm coaching people and helping them to build clients on LinkedIn, they ask me, I've got connected now, what do? I get at least 20, 30, 50 messages in a month where people ask me, I've got connected with the CEO. What should I do now? They have accepted my request. What should I do now? What should I say in the message? How should I build the conversation? So let me write down a formula for you in the chat box. Please copy. Please copy what I've written in the chat box. Please copy this blueprint completely. That's one way. Another example that I would like to share is again there in the chat box. One more example. What do I usually do to connect with people is I find commonality. I comment on something on their profile. I comment on content that they shared. I comment on or compliment their company. Or at times I compliment them also for the good work that they're doing. It should not be fake. It should be real. If I meet people in conferences, I send them an invite. If I meet them in a networking event where I'm speaking, if I'm participating in a trade fair, then I invite them. Whenever I meet new people who can be my target prospect, I write a personalized message to them. And what kind of message should I write? Let me give you some examples of that. Look at that in the chat box. And one last advice before I move to the third step. One last advice is be sure to send the message soon after the event where you met. This will increase the likelihood that they will remember you. Because if you will meet them today and you send the message after 72 hours, chances are that it will reduce the likelihood of them remembering you. They have 100 other things to remember in their life. Don't give undue importance to yourself that people are only thinking about you. Are we together? Guys, I've shared with you 2 steps so far. First step was find out your target clients and the way to search. The second step is how do you establish the first contact with them? Has all of you understood? क्या आप सबको समझ में आ गए हैं दोनों स्टेप? अगर समझ में आ रहे हैं, आपको एग्जांपल समझ में आ रहे हैं, say yes in the chat box. I'll wait for your response. आप में से ये दोनों स्टेप कौन मुझे वापस पढ़ाएगा? Who is confident now to explain in a minute or two these 2 steps back to me? Who would be confident enough to explain these 2 steps back to me? Say I in the chat box. Who has completely understood what am I doing? Me. So there's a guy called Fazal Rahman, and Fazal Rahman, let's meet and talk. Hey Fazal.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Hi, good evening. Where are you joining from?
From Chennai, sir.
Fazal Rahman from Chennai. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikum Akshay sir.
तो आप शुरू करिए. अब आप बताइए. How are you going to explain? And take 2 minutes. Explain what have you understood. And if there's anything you will miss, I'll add.
Yeah, I understood that in LinkedIn we can able to have normal search where we can just able to type the profile of the person or the profession or the company. We can able to just put a search and we can search it without sales navigator. And the other one is with the quotes, with the double quote. Say for example, if it is a product manager, we have to quote product manager with a quotation. And you have given another example, e-learning human resource with a quote, so that we can able to understand whether the platforms, whatever the platforms.
I'm giving examples of quotes, parentheses, and, or, and not.
Yes. Parameters.
And each one of these examples you can try. Why I had pasted in the chat box so that you are able to use it later also.
Right.
Otherwise, you attend the program, we are not able to get any practical guidance around it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have taught us.
After searching, what do we do next?
You have taught us the and as well as the plus or not function, where, for example, CEO, not owner, not founder, not consultant. And after such, we can able to establish a connect with a member, giving people a reason to connect with, writing down a message or of our own profile. We can able to insert a quote of our features, what we can able to offer to the people or the client or the professions.
Absolutely. A few things that we need to keep in mind, that all of us are human beings. Yes, no?
Right, sir.
On the other side of the screen, whom we are getting connected, the first task is not to sell anything. The first task is read what I've written in the chat box. What have I written in the chat box? Establish
rapport. Yeah, establish
what
rapport.
Do you mean by rapport?
A relationship, developing professional relationship.
So Fazal, rapport word came from a word called rapporte. And rapporte means to bring back to another person an experience of themselves. So if I talk about you, if I establish commonality in between you and me, the other person starts feeling comfortable. Yes, no?
Right, sir.
When I saw your name and I wished you by saying Assalamu alaikum, so what have you done? You smiled.
Yes, sir.
Why? Do we know each
Because
other?
of the,
Do we know each
because
other?
of the expression, yes.
Do we know each other?
Still yet to be yet in
Correct.
detail.
But for breaking ice, first few seconds, the other side of the human being is checking for one thing, whether this guy is safe to talk to or not.
Yeah.
Unknowingly, our brain is sending signals to each other when we are meeting a stranger, whether this person is safe to talk to or not. And our job as a salesperson is to make the other person, whosoever that person may be, comfortable with us. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
If I'm meeting a 70-year-old gentleman in the flight who is finding it difficult to walk, and I want to approach him because he's my target prospect, what do I need to do first? Is to make him
Comfortable.
comfortable
Create
by
that.
providing respect to him.
Sure.
If it is a 4-year-old girl, then my approach would be same or different?
Difference.
Absolutely. And if I'm meeting a Fazal Rahman from Chennai, then my approach would be different.
Sure. Thank you.
Are we together?
Yeah.
Now, if someone has sent a message to you on LinkedIn, let's keep the conversation going. Read what have I written in the chat box.
If someone has sent a message to you, keep the conversation going.
Correct?
Yeah.
It, it is also possible that the other person has sent a message to you on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And if they have sent a message to you, the first courtesy on LinkedIn should be, we should thank them for connecting with you. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Which we forget.
Yes.
That's
Generally.
a simple thing, but we usually forget.
Yes. Yes.
We can also write a personal statement like this. Read what have I written. I am giving you a framework quickly.
Hi. With
Mention
the
the resource you want to share along with a couple of relevant statistics or interesting points included in it. You can also insert a pertinent statement made from the information you pulled in the resource and why it might be helpful or of value to them. If you're sending an article to them, if you're sending a comment to them, something that should be of value to them, because people are interested in themselves. Do you agree with me?
true, sir.
One of the habits of highly successful people is that they seek first to understand, then to be understood. Yes or no?
True.
Same rule applies for LinkedIn also. And at the end, what you can write is something like this. Let me give a sample example. Can't be, one size doesn't fit all, but this can also be a way to do that. And let's say if you are not expecting anything in return, then you can use this method also. Let me write an example. So I've written an example. Thank you so much for connecting with me. Insert compliment about either their profile, professional background, accomplishment, etc. Ask a question about an initiative in their company or regarding something they shared on LinkedIn. In an article, if I can be of resource for you with insert a topic, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Or you can write, PS, I have an article you may be interested in. It's called insert name of the article. You can read it here if this topic is of interest to you. Thank you so much for connecting with me. Congratulations on being recognized as one of the top 100 digital marketing influencers. I loved the article you recently shared. I found it extremely insightful. Thanks again for connecting. And if I can be a resource to you, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. Your name. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
What do you see? Do you see a pattern in these messages on what am I trying to attempt?
Right, sir.
I'm sending a welcome message to them. I'm intending to establish rapport with them. I'm intending to start a free-flowing dialogue with them. And I am expecting nothing in return. My request is, please listen to this line carefully. At this stage of the sales cycle, if people I'm meeting on LinkedIn, I am expecting nothing in return. The heart of the sales guy might be boiling from inside that, yes, I'm expecting an order or I am extracting some strategic relationship with this guy, but do not do that. Because that could be one of the fastest way to kill the relationship. If your messages or your intent is questioned at this stage, people might not proceed the conversation further with you to the next stage. What should we do next? If we have established a dialogue, what should we do next? Any
After
guesses?
establishing, we can share the profile of our offerings to the organization.
So let me share what I have in my mind. Number one, I have a strong advice. Do not sell or make any sales pitch. Doing that is the fastest way, I said, you can kill any relationship. My advice to you, Fazal, would be instead of sending your profile, first identify
Their interest.
what are they interested in. Number two, what is important to them. And number three, if I can guess by searching their profile, what problems do they face? Are we together?
Yeah.
Let's say if you are intending to become an author and you want to write a book, and if I am a salesperson who can help you publish your book, I should be interested in knowing what is Fazal Rahman interested in. What is keeping him awake? What is important to him? And then craft my message accordingly. Yes or no? So I'll give you an example of that also. Let's say, just give you an example so that you can copy the example. Read this example. While Fazal is reading, and Fazal, thank you so much for this small talk. I'll connect with you in some time. There's a gentleman called Shirish Kadam who has raised hands. Shirish, do you want to ask anything? Shirish Kadam, do you want to ask something? If you want to ask something, say yes in the chat box. How many of you have understood all the steps that I've covered so far? Have you understood the step-by-step framework? Guys, like Fazal, is there anyone else who has completely understood? Though anyone of you who has found value and have completely understood, say I in the chat box. This time I'll talk to that person and I'll ask a few questions. How many of you want a copy of this blueprint? Do you want a copy of this blueprint? Say I in the chat box. Diksha, please make a note of only those people who are responding and saying I. Please send a message to them personally and send this. And those who are not writing I, please don't send it to them. Okay, so let me share the blueprint with everyone. Let me share. I want all of you to open this LinkedIn lead generation blueprint. It has some part. Please copy it. Please download it it is there in the Zoom chat box. Please download. Has everyone received the LinkedIn lead generation blueprint? Why? I've dropped it in the chat box. Varsha, I've dropped it in the chat box. Please download. First, confirm everyone. Albert, have you received it? Bhushan, have you received it? Fazal, have you received it? Lavanya, has you received it? Fazal, just download. Shalendra, where are you searching? If everyone else has received it, if you are not yet to receive, what do you mean? Let me ask. Lavanya, you said yet to receive. What do you mean? You are allowed to talk. Unmute and say, confirm. Diksha is consistently pasting it in the chat box. Lavanya Tomar. Unmute and talk to me, Baba. You are writing it in the chat box, not received.
Not received, sir.
Ma'am, it is there in the chat box. Please download.
Nothing.
If everyone else has received it, how can you not receive it? Diksha has just shared the link in the chat box. I am able to see. You will also be able to see. Have you logged in from phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But I have not received.
So what you can do is, Diksha, can you write down your number in the chat box so that people can personally call you and take it on their WhatsApp?
Sure, sir.
Please drop your number. Now, those of you who have received it, my request is, please open the file. And in the next 2 minutes, I have one question for you. Praveen is saying she may be on YouTube live. No, Diksha is my colleague, Praveen, and her number will be given to you. Oh, you are saying that the number will be live. Yes. So Diksha, you can check out who's asking for it and can personally have a chat with them. Okay. Thanks, Ms. Tomar, for giving feedback. So one of the suggestions that I have for all of you is, first, let me take a frank feedback. Have you found the last 48 minutes spent with me valuable? If you found value, say V in the chat box. If you found conversation with me valuable, say V in the chat box. And on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being low, 5 being high, please rate today's session and give feedback. On a scale of 1 to 5, please share feedback. If you found it valuable, if you have not found it valuable, please give feedback. Thank you, Albert. Now, last 5 minutes. If you have any questions that you would like to ask, which can help you to find your prospects, you have 5 minutes. You can ask questions right now, and I'll be happy to answer that question. Anything that I have covered, if you have not understood anything, and you would like to ask that question, please say I in the chat box and we'll talk to each other. There's a lady called Varsha who's writing that I'm surprised that I have not received it. Varsha ma'am, we'll help you. Don't worry. Take a deep breath. We'll help you. Our team will help you. Thank you, Fazal. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback. Fair. Any questions if you want to ask, please ask now. Sneha, definitely my colleague will reach out to you. She said due to poor connectivity, I missed a lot of it. Can someone please share me details? When this webinar, you can also see that we are streaming live right now. And take the link and please watch it whenever you're free. Sneha Deswal, we are streaming live right now, so you can watch it again. Will that be okay? Yeah. Any questions any one of you have? If you do not have any questions, authenticity of the international connection. Let me understand something very interesting question. Fazal, what's the question?
So I'm into gems and jewelry business. At times we receive the connections through our LinkedIn, which is been, which we are common into some groups or from the, when we want to make a transaction or, when it comes to, say, for example, when it comes to payment or making a deal, how to evaluate that their potential. Even LinkedIn is a safe professional platform. But at the same time, I have an experience when I have a very WhatsApp connection with a person, and my colleague is telling, no, I have not dealt, even though I know him, I have not dealt with financially paying or getting product from him. So this kind of, when it is monetary things are involved, how to ensure that the authenticity, say for example, is from a particular, maybe it is from the individual or it is an organization. The authenticity, you should not regret, I have paid, I have not received it. It's not like a Flipkart or Amazon. It's like, you're establishing a rapport, the person, and you want to pay and get things done. Say I want to buy a diamond. Say he says it is around $200 to $300.
Yeah.
Maybe he's sending me the link to make the payment. Before that, is there any parameter to check the authenticity of the person who are into
Can I ask you a question, Fazal?
Yeah, please.
Were you able to download the blueprint?
No, I can't. I'm unable to. So honestly, from the chat box, I'm
so
unable to.
First receive that blueprint.
Okay.
And specifically see the step number 5.
Step number 5. Okay.
Step number 5 talks about that you evolve the relationship on LinkedIn and then move the high value conversation offline.
Offline. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Because right now, if it is a transactional sale, yes or no? LinkedIn is a platform usually used for B2B
not transactions,
not financial transactions. Yes or no?
True.
And to get a social proof of a human being, or as you have written a word called authenticity, very deep word, but you want to check the financial credibility of that human being.
Yes.
All the possible ways, checks and balances is dependent on the organization's policy. Yes or no?
True.
Whether you take references from other people, and before we reach to a stage where we are fully confident that we can get into a conversation or transaction online, all the checks and balances can be applied from contract to contract. But I don't know where you have got an impression that we do financial transactions on LinkedIn, or whether we should do it or not. And especially in case of jewelry, where I'm imagining that the average revenue per order is high, apply all the checks and balances and then go for it. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you.
Whether it is national or international, it does not make any difference.
True.
Yeah. So and that's that requires backend safety, that requires technology backbone, that requires evaluation, all what checks and balances that you will put in offline, online as well. So that needs to be checked. I hope I have answered the question of Fazal. Guys, I just want to make an offer to you. We spent roughly 50 minutes with each other. In case, if you like the way I taught and you want to make your organization and make yourself a sales magnet, then I can't teach you in 40 minutes or 50 minutes. Let me be very frank with you. I have to work with each one of you individually for the rest of our lives. And step number 1 would be that I offer you a 10-day session, which is of 2 hours each, a 20-hour program called Sales Magnet, where you will understand the basics. Everything that you need to know to make your organization a sales machine. If you are interested, if you are facing challenges related with generating leads, if you want to understand how to hire the right talent, if you want to understand the entire sales process from contact to contract, if you want to understand how to do suspecting, how to do prospecting, how to approach a client, how to handle objections, how to negotiate with the client, what are the possible ways of closing an order, and you want to master that step by step with me, then I invite you to join a 10-day program. And do not agree because I am saying it. Please go to the link that my colleague will provide. It is called siluniversity.com. Please go to that link. Watch free power sessions, at least 6 videos. See if they are making sense to you. Look at the entire curriculum of the program. Get in touch with my colleague called Diksha. She will share the entire brochure of the program. Read that brochure. Take references from her from all the people who have attended last 35 batches. Take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 references. Talk to them. And if you think that I can be your coach, then come and join one of the fastest growing sales growth communities in the country. We are starting the 36th batch soon. Please register. The fees of this program is 9,999 rupees. And let me announce what all you will get. You will get a 20-hour program. You will get a 1-hour personal consultation with me. And you will get lifelong group coaching sessions every Sunday. Lifelong. You pay once and I will be with you the rest of your life every Sunday live from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. So if you want to go to a one-stop shop for sales and marketing, I can offer my candidature. Go to my LinkedIn profile, look at my experience, take references, take social proof of the clients that I've served, read the recommendations that people have given about me, and only if you find it valuable, and only if you find that it is of value to you, please come and join. You have got the link in the chat box of free power session. You have got the link of Diksha Sharma, who's my colleague. You have got the link of how to reach out to Sales Magnet, and you have got the payment link also. So those of you who are interested to join a lifelong journey with me, come and join the 36th batch of Sales Magnet program. This movement started 2.5 years back, 3 years back rather. And since then, this is what I love doing. Those of you who are sitting and watching, there are no free lunches. You have to pay 9,999 rupees once. But I assure you that not only in this 20-hour journey through 10 days, but lifelong sessions that you will learn with me, you will realize that you have paid only one, and the rest of your life, I will keep on serving you. On that note, bye-bye, goodbye to you. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found it valuable. May all of you become a multi-million-dollar money magnet. May all of you grow. I know each one of you has the potential. Those of you who take action, pay, register for the program. I would wait to welcome you all in the 36th batch. God bless all of you. I'm signing off from Gurgaon. Bye-bye.